Okay, so recently I started to work on another project. As the weather is pretty nasty, it's snowing and raining, I don't want to take the 960 out of the garage. Even though the list of work I want to do on it is just getting longer and longer, but that has to wait a bit. So instead I decided to take out the intake manifold of my Audi C4 2.6 liter. The engine is actually running perfectly fine, but there are some oil leaks and just the entire engine looks quite nasty. So what I already did the lower two oil pans some time ago. Another leak came from the valve cover gaskets, which I've actually already replaced. It's actually quite an easy job. You just open 6 screws on each side and you can take it off. Just make sure that the sealing it's super dry, so just use brake cleaners, or I also sometimes use acetone to really make sure that the contacts with the seal are perfectly dry. But then, and this is what I'm showing now, this intake manifold, they are also prone to leak. The point is that it's a mix between this alloy part, and on top and the bottom they're using these plastic parts. So it's just part of the intake manifold, but it's made of plastic, and they are sitting on top and on the bottom, and there's this seal in there. I think it's some kind of a rubber or silicone. I cleaned everything, so it's already prepared to put it back together. It's quite some work, but as you can see, there are a lot of screws, and luckily they all came out without breaking or something. So that was definitely good. I'm now probably going to use some additional sealing to put it back in place. I'm not going to pull this out. Instead, I will just put some additional sealant on there and then tighten these screws. So the screws are just right here, and they're just a lot. I've cleaned them, so it's all good. I cleaned these entire pieces. This was all super oily and extremely dirty. Also here the front was all just completely covered in dirt. But this has all been cleaned now. Also have the throttle body, which I also took apart, cleaned it inside, outside, put some oil on the springs, so it's all nice and snug. And then in that turn, of course, I also replaced the seals on the injector valves. I also put them into a cleaning bath. I think that's good enough. Then these clamps here, they're actually quite expensive, and they were super dirty and rusty. So what I like to do with these parts, or generally screws that are very rusty or dirty, I put them in some vinegar essence and let them sit there like in a glass for 2 or 3 days. And then all the rust and all the dirt comes off. So you can just wipe it off afterwards with a brush or something. Just take some gloves because it's very dirty, but these parts, they turn out perfectly well. So all the rust is gone. You can still see here, like these brighter parts. That's where the rust used to start. So just make sure afterwards you put some oil on them. Otherwise they start to rust again. But yeah, this has been prepared. Then on the engine side, I still need to replace this little decklet that sits in the middle below the actual intake manifold. That's also leaking, so I bought the new seal and the new decklet, and I'm going to replace it. The screws, I think, get 10 Newton meters. So these ones here get 20. They're 10 screws. And there's also a certain direction. I think you start with the upper ones, and then you have to do like a cross pattern. These tiny ones, I think they get 2 Newton meters. So yeah, that's what I did on the intake manifold. What I also have to do is replace some of the vacuum hoses. I actually destroyed some, so I can quickly show you what I've actually repurchased. So what I have to replace is this plastic hose that goes from the valve cover in the rear to the air collector. And just this plastic, it just goes right across the driver's side cylinder head, so it's super brittle, and it just fell apart when I tried to open it, respectively take it off from the rubber hose. And it's as of now discounted, so 23 euros. It's really not worth to mention. I probably also take this decklet that sits in the middle of these two cylinder heads, just for the sake of, because I'm not sure if I will take it out, if the old seal will stick to it or if it will stick to the engine. And then it's just a mess to take everything apart, cleaning it. So I just spent these 19 euros to simply replace it. And this is another part that I also broke when I took it out. Actually here in the front section. This is plastic, and it just continues. Like you connect this piece here, this bottom, it just goes in here in the smaller hose. And so this continues alongside the cylinder head, and this plastic vacuum hose also fell apart. So quite happy that I can still get these parts, and apparently they're also reproducing it. At least here they made a note somewhere that it's remanufactured. So apparently this part has expired in the past, but they decided to produce it again because probably there's a certain demand for it. Okay, now I made some progress. Actually using this Dirco HT and put now a very thin line here. Now we'll place the top part and tighten the screws, starting from there and then doing like a cross move from the inside out. Okay, so I have all the screws placed, all tightened, 2 Newton meters. Started from here, then moved over there, then back and forth. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so I'm done with it now. Everything back together. Looks super nice, super clean. Really love it. Here you can see a bit of the sealing that is pushing out. So I think I took a bit too much, but should be okay. So this panel has to come off here again, this bracket, because there's a screw to tighten the intake manifold here. So these are the brackets to hold the ignition wires. Do you see the injectors? Here I put a bit of oil on these clamps so that they don't rust again. That's just super nice. Really love it how clean it came out. Oops. Let's twist it a bit. And I also see the throttle body. Couldn't really clean everywhere. You see there's still bits and pieces where I couldn't really reach it, but it's okay as it is. I put a bit of oil on these springs that are down there, like here. Cleaned everything. Not exactly sure what this part is. It's like a valve that is closing a hole that is in there. It was quite dirty, took it out and cleaned it. But yeah, you see, this was completely covered in dirt when I took it out. Couldn't even see that it was in beige color. It was completely black. Yeah, I really like it. It looks so cool. It's back in the engine. Yeah, and here you can see the pattern of how to torque the screws of the intake manifold. Apparently it's quite important to do it in the right way. Otherwise you can risk damaging the cylinder head. So you actually have a certain pattern, like where to start. And then also you have different rounds of torque. So you start with 5, then 10, and then 20. So never seen this before in an intake manifold. So I just took off the old decklet, just this one, put in a new seal. The seal came off with the decklet actually. I put some silicone underneath. I will also put some on top. You can see the old one is super dirty. I just got the new one. Which just cost me like 18 euros. So before cleaning the other one, I just replaced it entirely. So done with it. Tightened it from the inside out. It's 10 Newton meters each.